Hello and welcome to the Women's Cut, your home for uncut conversations. My name is Jay. That's Seaway. We are co-hosts. Welcome to our first show. For those of you guys who have been here before, we used to be She Said What She Said, but we under new management. So this is what you got. So how you doing today? See,
I'm good, Jay. How are you doing?
I can't complain. My Bears won this weekend, so I'm flying on an all-time high.
The
So
city was crazy. The city was crazy. It
uh,
was a
my
movie.
It was 100% a movie. My sister lives downtown. She was like, it was astronomically crazy. I personally watched with a whole bunch of niggas in East Chicago, Indiana,
Okay.
and the reaction was like just everything a black person dreams of. Just like sprinkle a whole bunch of blackness on those reactions, and that's exactly what you got. So I had a good time.
Yeah, I was outside too. I was outside too.
Were
So
you at a bar?
I was at expat.
Oh,
It was crazy
okay.
in there. It was
I'm
crazy in there.
sure it
I
was.
mean, they actually don't let the on the side that's open before 10, there's no screens. So I kind of had to like knock knock, please let us in early so I can watch the game. And I went over there. And then yeah, by the time the Bears won, everybody was pouring in. It was everything. The whole city was up.
I wish I gotta watch it with my crew. Like as we keep going, you gotta watch. You gotta keep everything the same. We're all superstitious. You gotta keep everything the same. So I
Right.
gotta watch it with my crew. But I low key kind of wish that we had started in the city because like that feeling of being in the city is wild. But I just know I gotta be with my family you know when them
Yeah.
Super Bowl lights are the brightest. But
Yes.
let's not get ahead. Let's not get ahead of
More
ourselves.
questions about that, but we'll get to it.
Right. All right. We're going to get ready for our first segment, which is the cutting room floor. Um, this is where we're going to talk about what's happening right now in sports beyond whatever we're going to do. Today's episode, we're going to be very sports heavy.
Yes.
Not all of our episodes will be all about sports. We'll talk about current events. We'll talk about culture. We'll talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about because that's the woman's cut. But today, we're talking about sports and we're going to talk about the NCAA. Girl,
Yeah.
this season, it just keeps getting better. I feel
It
like
does.
I'm watching 90s NBA right now. The guard play is crazy. And I think that's a good thing personally because we WNBA is very forward. We're very forward heavy. The guards had their day back in the day. Now we're very forward heavy. The
Right.
guards coming back.
Especially in college.
Yes.
Especially in college. The conversation is about the guards, especially this season. It's a guard season, even though they're saying the number one pick may be Betts, maybe, some overseas players, but the guards are giving it.
The guards
They're
are giving
giving
it.
it.
I do think that Betts is going to be the number one because Dallas has it, and Dallas has
They need
zero
it.
forwards.
Yeah.
They have zero forwards. I would love to see an Ozzie Page link up, but I don't think that's in the cards if that front office is doing what that front office is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure about that. The teams are going to pick who they need, and so sometimes, a lot of the vets say you can't get too caught up on where you fall in the draft. You just need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you're in the best fit. But yeah, I mean, especially in the SEC. But it's not just the SEC, but in the SEC, LSU losing to Texas. I mean, beating Texas.
They
Wow, a lot
needed
of
that.
people didn't
They
see that
needed
coming.
that. They needed that.
Notre Dame, big win over UNC. That was a big win for Notre Dame. Iowa State with Audis on a 2-game losing streak. I mean,
I
South
think I
Carolina's.
think the noise might be getting to audio a little bit. The noise might be getting to audio a little bit, but with Iowa, they go how she go.
Right.
They go how she go. It reminds me Iowa State. Let me be specific. Iowa State. It reminds me a lot of Caitlin at Iowa. Yes, she had a little bit of help, but
Hmm.
that help had to be really helping.
Yeah.
It had to be heavy help. They're not stacked like SC. They are not stacked like LSU. They are
Right.
not stacked like Notre Dame. Um, it That's what it's giving. So, and she's only what's this only her sophomore? Is she a junior? Is she a sophomore?
Yeah,
She's a junior.
I think we'll check.
I feel like she's a sophomore. I
She's
feel like this is
sophomore.
was she. Well, you know what? Let's go to the tape. That's an easy check. That's an easy check. But she has at least one more year of eligibility, obviously. And we'll do more on audio a little bit more in our uncomfortable conversation segment. But she right now is the most dominant player. Juju is down. She's
Yeah,
the most dominant player in women's college basketball right now. The numbers she's giving is crazy, and that consistency, the level of consistency for that scoring has been crazy. Even though her scoring is down, it's still at a higher level than most of the people who are playing her position.
I mean her offense is unstoppable. But I think with the NCAA right now, once one team figures you out, you're in trouble. When I mean figure you out, I mean figure out the team as a whole. And
Mm-hmm.
so teams have been able to kind of draw Audie out of the paint a lot with different, different looks, different matchups, getting her in that pick and roll. Things that, are not good for Iowa State. And so I think Iowa State's going to have to figure out how to kind of help in those situations, how to adjust, because
Yeah,
these teams are doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're figuring out how to get around Audie and how to get her in poor defensive situations.
yeah.
Iowa State is going to have to step in. They're going to have to fill in the gaps.
That's facts. Again, I hate to keep drawing parallels to Iowa. I hate to keep drawing parallels to Iowa, but Caitlin Clark was a liability on defense. So what Iowa learned how to do is to that rotational defense, where
Right.
you're going to put somebody who is a better defensive player and figure out how to cover up those issues, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah.
For sure. I will say though, my surprise of the season is USC.
Still
I
doing well.
I didn't think it. That team went as Juju went. I didn't think that they were going to remain competitive
Hmm.
without Juju. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, Jazzy, what a freshman. What a freshman. And so, I mean, sometimes you don't know.
I should say Juju and Kiki. They lost Kiki too.
Yeah, they did.
So
I think, you never know what these freshmen are going to do. But Jazzy's been stepping it up. She's looking like maybe one of the best people in this class, in her class. I mean, it's crazy. So they got a gym.
100%. I'm looking forward to them coming back. And without Betts, UCLA, they're not the same level of competition when Juju gets back. To be honest, that's gonna be their conference to take.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, even though Betts, her sister Sienna Betts, she's pretty good too. But
Yeah.
she's her first year in, so we don't really know how that's gonna work. They got a lot of height on them, but
It's speed.
yeah,
Speed kills.
yeah,
And USC plays extremely fast. And given they're not going to play as fast again when Juju comes back, most people who come back from injury, especially that kind of injury, it's going to
right.
take a little bit longer for her to learn her body, trust her body. But the way Paige came back, that's your blueprint right now.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, I
sky's the
follow
limit.
that.
The sky's the limit.
Agreed.
All right. So our next conversation is Unrivaled and Athletes Unlimited. Now, Athletes Unlimited, that don't come back until February 1st. But I want to get that on your radar, people. We need to get that on the radar. I don't think that they get the shine that they deserve. It's a good product. It's a quick product. It's a quick product. We get a month. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Get in, get out.
So, what part of Athletes Unlimited do you love? What aspect of it do you really, really like?
I like that it's a little bit more player led than coach led.
Yeah.
And I think especially when you get younger players in there who are paired with vets or who are on those veteran teams, that can definitely push. Because that's the reason I like Unrivaled is they kind of let people cook in that sense, and then people working together. That's the other part of it. is that you have these teams where you have these vets who are working with different rookies. It's kind of like you switching your management up. You a
Mhm.
rookie, you came in working under somebody else. Now you can come in here, and it's 5-on-5. That is so important for the development of the game in the W, because 3-on-3, yes, you can develop individual techniques, footwork, you know, shot selection, that kind of stuff. But you're not really working on the team game as much. And I think
Yeah.
understanding that team game, for me, that's the reason I like Athletes Unlimited. How about you?
I think for me, I just love the fact that there are players who are not in the league rotation all the time.
Mm,
There's players that maybe got a training camp but then didn't get a chance to get in, and seeing them actually cook. Because I think the coolest thing about Athletes Unlimited is you'll see players not in the league next to players who are in the league, and everybody is cooking. You get a chance to see, who's a bucket. I do like that it's player led, so you really get a chance to see like who is cooking, and it's really fun. It's
that's
light,
true.
it's fun, it's team oriented, but then it's also individualistic because you're trying to be like that bucket that gets to the end. And so,
I'm a pin that bucket conversation, because I think that's the first conversation we ever had was about uh, I'm gonna call it Seaway's theory of being a bucket.
yes,
You
I just was talking about this today.
we gonna get into that. We gonna get to let's pin that for next episode. Seaway's theory of being a bucket. We gonna pin that for next
The
episode.
downside of that, but we do have some. It came out today. Unfortunately, I was looking so forward to seeing Kaiser play, and she tore her Achilles. She put it on her Instagram today, and so prayers out to Kaiser. I really hope that she gets better. I know it's devastating, especially when you've been really willing yourself back and you get this type of setback, but I hope she sticks with it. I was really looking forward to see her playing AU because I know she still got it. So
We really need, and this is probably another conversation too. Is I really need medicine to step up to the plate in adequate research on women's bodies.
yeah,
The amount of Achilles tears and ACL tears and all this other stuff, and it's directly related to a woman's time of the month, and there is zero research on it. Zero research. They just figured it out after all these years of women playing sports. So I need them to step it up to the medical plate, because we're missing out on a whole bunch of talent. We're missing out on a whole bunch of talent, young talent,
yeah.
because they getting toe off real early.
And especially just more knowledge about the fact that, especially because women's bodies were made differently. And that I do think that we are disproportionately affected by the ACL tears for sure. I just think there needs to be more knowledge about what we can do, what things that we can do to strengthen our lower half, so we're not putting so much weight on different ligaments. That's important.
I
I
agree.
know Achilles tears. Men have a lot of Achilles tears as well, but the problem with the Achilles, just like the ACL, Achilles takes a long time. It's a
Non-contact injuries are the worst. Non-contact injuries always take the worst about it. I mean, you break a bone, bones heal. They
Mhm.
often grow back stronger. Is very difficult, and the mental strain behind tearing those things, especially non-contact, because it's like I could literally do anything at any time,
Yeah,
and
scary.
something could happen. So moving from Athletes Unlimited, let's move over to Unrivaled.
Yeah,
Season kicked off. Just because I'm a stake my claim right now. Rose are my boos. Chelsea Gray. Obviously, I was rocking with Angel, but Chelsea Gray, the GOAT, the point guard. And then the breeze are quickly breezing into being my number two. But Sanaya Rivers,
I had the Hive as my number one. People were at my head. I know they haven't won yet, but
Sanaya Rivers.
I love her, and that's my team. People like, you still sticking with? Yeah,
I'm gonna stick beside them.
I'm sticking. But what I'm gonna switch up for? I did
No,
issue out an apology though to the Mist. I did apology. I'm gonna do it on this platform as well. The Mist, I effed up. I effed up. I'm sorry.
Um,
I didn't see the
and
mention.
on top of that, speaking of Sanaya Rivers, my favorite crash out is balling the hell out.
Marina.
My favorite crash out is balling out. I first of all, the first game of the season, baby girl was getting into it.
She kind of had to though.
She did. They was getting toe off. They ain't had no energy behind them. She knew what she was doing.
What she's supposed
Uh,
to do?
she had to do what she had to do.
Yeah,
But she's top 5 in like every metric.
Marina. Marina's that girl.
She a bucket.
Marina's that girl. Now I done talked about her trying to forcing her way out of Chicago,
I can't blame her.
and then trying to force her way out of Connecticut. They said no, not too fast, baby. And now she likes it there. I think.
That,
But let me tell you, Marina's that girl.
yeah.
I mean, just in every way. I love how she's herself. I love how she's spicy. I love how she's competitive. She's competitive, and I need that. Like,
I do. I miss Team Crash Out. I miss Team Crash Out. That was Angel Reese's rookie season, where you had two of the best crash out artists to ever crash out
in one team. Now, how's that supposed to work?
Oh,
it's not supposed to. It's not
supposed to. But Kennedy
and
Arena crashing.
As a viewer,
beautiful basketball.
Yeah.
Beautiful basketball. No, I 100% agree. It has been very fun to watch. The one thing I will say about this is 3-on-3, even though Paige has played 3-on-3 for USA Basketball, 3-on-3 is not Paige's biggest strong suit because Paige is a sharer. She kind
of got to go to work.
That's why, and given Chelsea is a team player too, but Chelsea about to put 35 on you. Okay.
And it gives her an opportunity to put 35 because I think people forget because she plays her role on the Aces that's what she got to do.
Yeah.
Most of these women were buckets before they got to their roles, and Chelsea reminds every Unrivaled season who she is. But I really love how for the Paiges, the Sonia Citrons, and there's a few others who have the ability to create at will, but just kind of don't by the way the 5-on-5, unless they have to.
Sonia was put it on their heads. Sonia was put it on their heads.
But she said herself she didn't feel like she could be as creative, in the systems, and so she was excited about Unrivaled because it allows her to be very creative in her shot creation, and so I'm happy for Sonia with that because we know she can.
I agree, and that Breeze team is fun to watch. They young, but that's just a whole team of buckets. I don't know how you put what's her name? Mo. What's the French?
Mo Billings.
There we go. No. Who's the French basketball player?
Oh, Dominique Malonga.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dom. That's her nickname. That's what they call her. I don't know how. If Paige had Dom, yo. If Dom was on Dallas,
over with.
Dom's
taking off this season anyway.
Yo,
she said I was 19. I ain't 19 no more. She may still be 19. I'm not sure.
But she's like 20 now. She still can't drink though. She in Miami.
She's in Miami sober.
She in Miami on pure vibes, baby.
I'm so sorry.
Well, look, I feel like at home I can drink though. She been drinking vino since she was 16. She come in, she can't do nothing. No. That and honestly, that French team come Olympic time
nasty
is also going to be scary hours.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Very briefly, let's talk about these ratings though.
Of course.
I think it was a slight miscalculation.
In what way?
In the sense of we're starting early. We're going up against the end of the college football season with a expanded college football playoff. So you have extra teams in there. That's more eyes. You have the end of the football season. You're going up against your first games were on Monday against Monday Night Football at the tail end of the football season. You're going. These are difficult days to play. Saturday was one of the biggest days for a lot of their games. You have the Chicago Bears, who are, if not the top three market in the NFL, breaking records at Amazon, most streamed game ever at Amazon. Football is king. We can't come in here competing with football.
Let me push back. Let me push back. I get that, right? But when you're that girl, I think you can't worry about the next person. You know what I mean? Like, you can't plan around the next person. You got to come in like you that girl. You're going to own it, whatever. Now, you're right. Who would have anticipated, though, that the Bears were going to be doing this anyway?
Bears fucking up everybody's numbers.
Ain't the Rams in it, too?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's the Rams.
The Rams in it every year, though. The Rams in it every year, but that's
okay. So, but the Bears, the city is up. Okay,
yes.
the city is up. But I just think there's a couple of things that they couldn't control.
Yeah,
I think Angel brings a bigger market than I think people, want to admit. Her market is huge. I mean, Paige and Angel, when you're talking about like, that's a huge market. People are tuning in to try to figure out what they're doing, period,
Yeah.
And so I think that loss has a lot more to do with it. Losing Angel is a lot of
here's the
lot of eyes.
I absolutely agree with you, but I also think that there would have been a way to play it, because even though she's not playing this season, she's still an equity partner, because that was what she was offered by being an inaugural season. Why, Angel, you're not playing? Why don't you come do play-by-play for a game? Why don't you come and sit in the studio and do XYZ? Because now we can market off of that. People do love Angel as a personality as well. So I think there's ways to expand that marketing.
And she may, because even Sabrina, who had to take this season off as well, came to Unrivaled, and it was like, hey, I'm still around, it was just, and so maybe she would. I also think tying into some of the grassroots, some of the influencers, some of the TikTok content creators, get them some buy-in, get them down there, get them live streaming, there's a lot. I think that actually, it takes people with them. Absolutely. Because now people want to tune in, they want to watch, and they're doing a phenomenal job with their
marketing. Their marketing is great.
But a lot of Unrivaled is the brand is not just like the basketball. It's the fact that, the fan experience and, just getting more, investing in the ones that invest in you. I think getting more of that, I think will take it up a notch. I think things will pick up. But there's just a lot of things to watch on TV.
It's a lot of stuff going on right now, honest to God. And I think that's part of the issue. They had to expand because they have these extra teams, so you have to add more games. So it is what it is. I think they'll be fine, and I think that the barometer of that is going to be that 1-on-1. That 1v1 is one of one. That 1v1 had people like, we need to do this in the NBA,
and it's still, and I think that's still going to go up.
And that's what
I'm still locked in, because I'm going to choose Unrivaled 1v1 over whatever else is going on.
No, those are facts.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see it. I'm not missing it.
No, that's fact. And I believe that there were players who took it real personal going out early up in that bad.
That's different. You don't want to go out early. That's because we still the hoopers on the black top. On the plate, So that won't be different.
That's absolutely. So moving on to our next little joint, talking about the CBA deadline. This is gonna be a quick update, y'all. Yeah. We in a moratorium. Miss Esquire, can you explain to us what a moratorium means?
Stop in the name of love. Hold up. Wait a minute. Slow down, low down. That's what it means. I mean, it means like ain't nothing else happening. Everybody else is we're staying where we at. That means no draft. That means no
they can negotiate, but who about to negotiate with these low ass prices? I'm not, the price still too low. I'm not negotiating those salaries right now.
The expansion teams can't do the expansion draft, not the regular draft. You can't sign no contracts. There's no movement. And so what's next after that? Well, who's going to put on the heat first? Right now, we're just kind of saying it's whoever's going to feel the heat first.
And that's the thing. To me, the W is going to feel it first because these women have already know how to diversify their assets.
They had to.
They already know there's nothing you can take away from them that they didn't have. They've worked with nothing before.
Right.
If I've worked with nothing before, if I know how to stretch $1, you taking away 20 ain't gonna mean much because I still got my dollar. So I honestly think that the W might buckle first because this is about, they know what product it has. Who was it? Dave Chappelle, who said, I saw the numbers that they were offering.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew how much money I was worth.
If it's 250, if it's a 250 mil to enter, you're gonna have to run these women their money.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I don't see it benefiting any WNBA player to cross the picket line, the invisible picket line. When you have so many avenues to go make money, I mean, these overseas teams, even if it's for a month or two, will be dying to pick up a lot of these players, and that's a check.
Absolutely.
And if you got enough money to hold on to, because they've been knowing about them needing to put their money aside for a minute now, then they won't go. But women's athletes have a lot of options.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. And, if nobody buckles and it takes too long, then the women will decide if they want to, move forward, officially strike, even, file some lawsuits, some antitrust lawsuits, get down, put some pressure on the W.
I 100% agree. We already talked about it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more. City was up. It's a completely different. You see people walking around in their Bears gear,
right?
In January, people normally we done packed that shit up. We done packed it up. People are happier. Yeah. It's just the wild time to be alive. But I really want to concentrate on one thing in particular, and that is Green Bay being sore losers.
Talk about it.
Y'all done put belt to ass
for decades on us.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers only lost 2 games to the Chicago Bears.
They've been whooping us since I've been alive, it feels like.
And before that, it was 50%. It was even. It was 50-50.
We've been catching L's back to back.
Man, Aaron Rodgers went on a generational fucking run.
What'd he say?
That man did a discount double check, and he said, I still own your ass. If y'all don't go and sit down, and then you have grown men talking about, the coach doesn't like him. It's a rivalry, bro.
It shouldn't. They were crying about that handshake.
No. If it's one, listen, bring hating back.
Especially in football. We got to bring a little bit of hate.
Listen, I'm going to tell you one right now. My number one soapbox is let people be haters. There are people who you don't like for any number of reasons. And it's not even a valid reason. We have a valid reason. They're in Wisconsin. That's our reason. That's it. That's all I need.
And it still go Badgers for me, but it's going to be F Green Bay.
Listen, ever since Russell Wilson graced their locker room, me and the Badgers rock hard. However, fuck Green Bay. That's all I'm saying.
Period.
Cry about it until next season. Beat us then. And then y'all can say all types of stuff, but guess what? Cry from the couch. That's all I gotta say.
And then, first of all, Jay's the football person on here. I'm not even a big football person. The city is still bear down, okay? Still bear down. But what is with Lil Wayne coming out of his cocoon to talk about?
He's been a Packers fan for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers was his guy. So everybody knows, or a lot of people know, Caleb Williams had to do a little scrub because Aaron Rodgers was also his favorite quarterback. So he was a huge Green Bay Packers fan.
Okay.
We had to come in the door like, fuck the Packers.
Okay.
That's what happened. Now, I don't understand what happened to Lil Wayne because given the Saints sucked a lot, but they also were great a lot. The Saints were good when he was in his formative years, like 10, 11, 12, when he would be figuring this out. The
Yeah.
Saints actually had a pretty good team in the early 90s. Then in the 2000s, obviously, we know about, Drew Brees and coming in, but I don't understand how you go against who that as a New Orleans person. And then I don't know how you thought that you are going to be a Packers fan and then the Saints are going to be like, I know this is here and you're from Louisiana, but we want you to be in our Super Bowl. They're not going to want to do that. Like, you have to understand what the optics of that is, because when you're a hometown person and you're performing, you need to wear the jersey. You're not about to do that. You're
Yeah,
not
that
doing it.
wasn't gonna happen. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Lil Wayne had very interesting self expression himself. So him
Absolutely.
talking about Caleb Williams painting his nails when I
The masculinity is so fragile around a grown man painting his nails. Who cares? Do you want to know who also painted their nails? Rock stars. All the time.
and
They
that's
be
what
ho.
Lil Wayne claims to be. So I was kind of
The
confused
first
about
time
that.
I saw a dude with painted nails was punk rockers. They used to paint their nails black and blue. So, like, what are we even talking about? And the fact that the lore behind it is his mother was a nail tech.
Mm-hmm.
She practiced, or he wanted to spend time with her, so he asked her to paint his nails when he was younger. And so that was their way of bonding. They would talk about their day. She used that money from being a nail tech to pay for his football career and honor his mother. He paints his nails. I think that's a beautiful story.
That's really sweet. I didn't know that.
We also have people calling into question his masculinity because he cried because he lost a game when he was in college. So what? Show emotions. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised because when someone beats you at one of the most masculine sports, football is one of the most masculine sports, and they don't conform to your idea of masculinity, it's gonna rock the boat.
No,
And
those
so
are factual
he
statements.
could go cry. He could go cry about it. Bear down.
Listen, they can all go cry in the car. They can all be red. They can all be red and go cry in the car.
Bear down.
It's and bear down.
That's all the city got right now. So bear that down.
Look, that one day the Bulls, the Blackhawks, and the Bears all won at the same
And
time.
that day went away.
The Blackhawks are back fun, okay? They're 50.
But they were at the bottom of the.
No, but they are 50. They 50-50. They 50-50. They went on a 3-game winning streak. They've been 50-50 all season. You know what I'm saying? The win-loss
Maybe
column.
we need to go to the Blackhawks game.
Listen,
Make it
they're
happen.
fun. Hockey is fun. The issue is if you don't like anxiety, you can't watch hockey. It's everybody is about to score always. Everybody is about to score always. It's the only sport where almost is a stat. They have a stat about, oh, you almost scored. Like, that's a thing.
Wow,
because
that's a stat.
because the puck be there. The puck be there. Shots on goal. It's about how many shots on goal, because eventually the puck gonna go in. How many shots on goal? We have Connor Bedard. He is one of the points leaders. He is cold as hell. He reminds me of a combination of Tane and Cave, of Tane and Kane. Because you have somebody who's a young gun, extremely skilled, extremely fast, but he is like a Zen master, much like Taves. Like, he is not as brash. He's more polished. So he's a good guy. We have a nice little, this is not what y'all came here for. I just said the Bears. But for those of you guys who are into hockey, we have a goalie that we just came up. I think he's like a 4th or 5th year player, but this was one of his first starts. He had a shutout in his first start. One of the first players in their first start to get a shutout for the Blackhawks. We had a team building. All I'm saying is the Blackhawks are fun again. We might not win nothing, but at least they're fun to watch. I watched the game.
Yeah,
It was 7-2. Every time I turned, they were scoring. It's a good time.
Okay.
All right. So, women that inspire us. This podcast, we are women. We also want to focus on women. We're going to talk about women's sports. We're going to talk about dope ass women in general. So, our women that inspire us. C is going to go first. Who inspires you this week?
I gotta say, the woman that inspires me is Queen Fee Napheesa Collier. And Fee inspires me for so many reasons. Not only is she a phenomenal basketball player, she's a mother. She started her own business, her own league with Stewie and her husband that has provided opportunities for so many women to stay stateside, and in the league really has everything that the W has been missing: support, facilities. It provides opportunities for Black women coaches. I mean, she could have done nothing with her power, influence, knowledge, but she decided to do everything. But what really inspires me about Fee is the fact that she spoke truth to power without actually worrying about how it was going to affect her personally. Her standing up to Kathy, saying, giving the tea about the conversations, speaking up for the women in her league was so selfless, and it was just so ballsy, or whatever we want to say the female version of that is. But I am just so just proud to even be witnessing what Fee is doing for women and women's sports, not just the W, and the fact that she is so fearless and standing up to what is not just the WNBA, but it's also the NBA. She has put herself in the line of fire, really speaking up for all women, and it may affect her in the future, but she's doing it because she knows it's right, and that inspires me. Figure inspiring.
I love it and I agree. Queen Fee is queen for a reason. So I 100% agree. Now I'm going to move back to my little hockey tip. I get on my little soapbox. I'm going to shout out Laila Edwards. This is a name that people need to know. So before I explain who she is, I'm going to read some of her accomplishments. Okay. She's won 2 world championship medals. She was the tournament MVP at age 20 world championship. She's the first ever Black woman to play for the U.S. women's senior national team in hockey. She has 2 NCAA national championships with the Wisconsin Badgers. And she was also the Women's Player of the Year award winner for 2024. She's 21 now. She won her first national championship at 19. She was the youngest to ever, Black, white, indifferent, the youngest to ever get tournament player. She is going to be playing in the U.S. Olympics and on the U.S. Olympic team for the Winter Olympics in Milan, in Italy. I just want y'all to watch her. I'm a huge fan of the Olympics. A lot of people don't know this, but I was born the day after the Olympics ended in 1984. My mom went to labor during the closing ceremony, so I feel like I'm an Olympic baby. And there's a lot of reasons for us not to be patriotic right now. But supporting Black folks in underrepresented fields should always be at the top of your list. So let's watch hockey, y'all. Let's watch women's hockey. You might not even you're going to learn something today. A lot of y'all have watched Heated Rivalry. Come on over to women's hockey. It's fine. It'll work out. Laila, Queen Laila, that's who my person is this week.
I love that, and I love that you're introducing someone who's doing a lot of amazing things at a young age to a larger audience. So
major. And how many Black? There's not a lot of Black men in hockey.
yeah,
So I've never heard of a Black woman hockey player before her, and they just started the Women's Professional Hockey League. Right when she about to get to the nitty gritty. Come on, I don't even know what teams there are, but I'm gonna be whatever team she get drafted to. I'm gonna get a jersey. I'm ready. We already got to get you a Mighty Ducks Conway jersey because that just seems like the right way to go. So
yes.
I'm make sure it works out. All right. So our next segment, we're gonna talk about receipts. Uh I got tired of the Shador Sanders talk.
Okay.
I got tired of it. And let me tell you why I got tired of it. Because it was bullshit. Hate him for a valid reason or not for a valid reason, but just say you dislike him. I hate when people make up all types of stuff to be like, oh, he's not good at this and he throws this and he owns the ball. Just say you don't like him and go. It's
Yeah.
okay. Back on the soapbox. Bring hate back. Bring hate back. It's okay. So I was perusing on TikTok as one does. And I came across this video by a creator. So I'm gonna play it real quick so that y'all can get the content that we have received from the TikTokers.
The Cleveland Browns firing head coach Kevin Stefanski makes it impossible to ignore how differently he treated Shador Sanders versus Dylan Gabriel, and the data proves it. Let's start with opportunity, because opportunity isn't just pass attempts, but it's when you're allowed to throw. These bars shows who the Browns trusted to throw early while the game was still in neutral and after successful plays. Dylan Gabriel was consistently allowed to throw early and in rhythm. Shador Sanders, on the other hand, was asked to throw after things broke down. And that difference shapes everything: play calling, confidence, and who stays on the field in defining moments. Now look at down and distance. Gabriel throws far more often on first down when defenses still have to respect the run and the entire playbook. Yet Sanders throws far more often on third and long when defenses already know what's coming. So that's not the same job. This uneven context is further compounded by Sanders being benched in a one-score high-leverage situation. That tells you how short the leash really was for him. Now let's talk about protection. Sanders was playing behind one of the worst protection environments in football, and instead of adjusting, the coaching staff didn't meaningfully increase help. No consistent extra protectors, no expanded chip blocks. But Gabriel received significantly more built-in protection, even with the same line. And protection is a coaching choice. It wasn't applied evenly. This is where people usually say Shador just holds the ball for way too long. But the data tells a different story. Sanders wasn't just under more pressure, but the pressure arrived way faster. We're talking pressure in under 2.5 seconds, before most routes concepts even exist. So when pressure arrives that fast, time to throw becomes survival time. And this stat is really important. Despite extreme pressure and a reduced margin for in-game mistakes, Sanders actually turns pressure into sacks less often. That means he's escaping, throwing the ball away, or keeping plays alive. And that's not poor processing. That's problem solving under chaos. And the margin for error was not the same either. Sanders' number one receiver dropped nearly twice as many passes, so that shrinks your margin immediately. But the offense never compensated with easier throws or more protection, so the difficulty stayed high and the tolerance stayed low. So quarterbacks get judged by results, and coaches decide those conditions, and that difference really matters.
Our girl Leah Camarano with the knowledge.
Man, shout out to her. She broke that all the way down.
Listen, bring back pie charts and bar graphs. Bring them back.
And bring up women covering all sports and football and doing it to the T. I mean, she broke that down.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a creator on TikTok giving those knowledge. And I will tell you this right now. She does a lot of sports. She doesn't just do football. So you guys will be seeing stuff from her often from me, because the stuff that she's breaking down,
Shout out to her.
It's plain and simple. The most egregious thing that I saw was the protection. Yeah. That's somebody's career personally, where you're protecting your quarterback. You don't want him to get injured. You don't want to get him to get concussed. Dylan Gabriel already got a concussion. We're talking about shifting protection, having a running back come and chip block, doing max protect, having if you see pressure is coming from one side or another. Now, given it is also up to Shador to check his surroundings, and it's up to his center to also check those surroundings. Mm-hmm. But coaches can see where pressure is coming from, and they can call plays that help alleviate pressure. watching those games that I watched, they didn't give him quick outlet passes. He talked about people dropping balls. That was basically Jerry Jeudy. That man, just a guy, as Steve Smith Senior would say, just a guy. But you're not giving him outlet passes. I just think that the Kevin Stefanski firing was warranted. I understand the amount of games that he has won for the Browns. I understand he's the first coach to ever take the Browns to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But I understand as a coach, you're tied to how successful you are. But if you want to be successful and you see that the quarterback that you made a mistake and you didn't take until the 5th round is the best quarterback, then that's what you need to do. Because if Bill Belichick didn't take the 5th round drafted Tom Brady, and if he didn't start him, where would we be right now?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Shedeur is Tom Brady. Does he wear 12? Sure.
Sometimes you gotta lean into what you got. So
did he get trained by the man? Absolutely. That was his mentor. Do I believe that he had a terrible interview ahead of time as the son of Deion Sanders and a mentee of Tom Brady? Absolutely not. It's a different story for another time. Let me get off my soapbox.
You know you'll fill me in.
Let me get off my soapbox now. So the premise of the Women's Cut is that this is an honest and open space.
Yes.
And we are willing to have very uncomfortable conversations. And that's exactly what's about to go down right now. I'm cool. You cool. We're going to be cool together. Y'all might get mad at us a little bit. But I promise this is a space of honesty. And even though I believe it's okay to hate, it's not what we're going to do today.
All right.
So when we were having a little meeting before the show, I brought a particular conversation. And Seaway said, I don't know.
No, you don't remember what I said. What we talk about? Audie. Yes.
Yes, Miss Audie.
Yeah.
So earlier in the broadcast, we talked a little about Audie Crooks. She's dominant.
Yeah.
She's the most dominant forward. Sarah Strong, very, very close. She's stretch big. She's stretch big. So to me, she's not a true forward. She's kind of like the Dominique Malonga. She's gonna stretch the floor. She's gonna hit threes. She's gonna go out there. Her defense is extremely strong. She's a very well-rounded player. Yeah. Audie is just a beast in the paint.
Yeah.
She's gonna get her rebounds. She's gonna give you 25 to 30 points a game. The issue is getting back on defense against faster teams. Iowa State struggled. And that's not just her. Their defense is not one of the top defenses all around.
It's the whole team.
All around. So when we're talking about defense and you have some outlets literally putting out videos that say Audie Crooks exposed as if she's the only player playing defense, that's a problem to me. But I think that it's fair to say her defense needs to improve.
Yeah. Yeah, here, right, if you're going to get the highlights, in today's media, you're going to get the lowlights, right? But I do think when we're talking about college women, I think big media companies like ESPN, things like that, I know they're in a quasi-professional state right now because of NIL. And so, people are not treading the line maybe the way they should, but I think they're still in college. They're still students. And although when you get the highlights, you can get the lowlights, I think we need to be careful what position we're putting young women in with the way that we're talking about them, especially when a lot of the highlights for Audie are just Audie, but some of the lowlights that they showed about the defense was the entire team. Yeah, and there were some that it was just Audie and people were going past her, and it is what it is. But I think the part that makes this conversation uncomfortable is that what I've noticed is every year they it seems like in the media in women's college basketball, it appears to be like one woman. Now it appears to be two black women, who they're looking to be a villain in some sort.
Who's your other villain in this conversation?
Well, years before, it was the way they tried to villainize Angel Reese and
Absolutely.
try to say that she was, it's a thug team at LSU and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think now, yeah, Audie doesn't have that vibrato, but a lot of it is just low key fat shaming.
Absolutely.
Or setting her up to be in a position to be body shamed or fat shamed. And I think there's a way to talk about her defense without doing that. And I just wonder why every year we got to find somebody to put, to get in this situation.
I don't understand it for real because women's basketball has enough storylines.
Yeah.
You ain't got to make nothing up. They got enough. Women's basketball has plenty of storylines. There's nothing, you don't have to make it up. And I will say this, just like you can't build a team in a season.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit easier with NIL and the transfer portal and all that stuff to build a team in a season. It is very difficult to build basketball skill in a season. Last year, the major issue with Audie is that she didn't have a mid-range. So what did she do? She developed better footwork and she developed a mid-range. You can't ask the girl to do all of it. It's already hard to develop a mid-range game when you didn't have one. It's not like it was not necessarily non-existent. It wasn't asked of her per se. But it's so difficult to ask somebody to improve in 18 different aspects of their game in one off season. She's still in college. Let her grow.
But remember you said, if you're hating, you should just hate. I think the problem with the Audie situation and, how they try to do Angel and how they try to do, if you just don't like somebody, just say you don't like them. Just say you don't like them because you don't like how confident they are. Just say you don't like them because you don't feel like they look the way you want them to look, and they don't look the way you think a basketball player should look. Mm-hmm. If you have actual critiques, sure, but like you said, things are only going to be fixed. It's going to be incremental, and there needs to be space for that. And a lot of people's critiques are, this is not going to work in the W. This is not going to work in the W. Well, guess what? She's not in the W yet.
At all.
She has time. When she gets to the W, she'll get in the W. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I agree. And one thing you cannot teach is size. In general.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you want to say, you can't teach size.
No.
I understand people are saying it's not going to translate to the W, but I don't see how it doesn't, because offensively, she's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what level she's at. Offensively, she's going to be a problem. Now, obviously, with everybody, the W is a huge leap. It's what people villainize Diana Taurasi for saying. Yeah. Is that the W is a different game. It doesn't matter who you are. It takes time. A'ja Wilson did not start as A'ja Wilson when she came into the league.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. Offensively, she's a problem if she has a lot of moves. She has a lot of skill. I'm not saying Audie doesn't. But when she gets to the W, there's people who can match her size and are taller and more agile. And so I think that's people's concern, is the fact that, the things that she's able to do, she won't be able to do when she matches people who can match her size and can jump and can block her shot. It's gonna push her. That's not to say she can't be pushed. Another thing is, what I've noticed in the W, you can have all the offensive firepower all you want. If you cannot move on defense, they're not playing you. True. It actually doesn't matter. There's only a few people they'll allow just to do offense. And we could probably name those people.
Yeah.
But
She got time.
She has time.
We still ain't figured out if that girl is a sophomore or junior, though, have we?
I'm pretty sure she's a junior.
Okay.
But
She still got time. She has a whole season. She has an entire season. After this one, this one season is what? It's a little bit more than halfway over, but
junior.
okay. She a junior. She has an entire off season. She has a season. She don't have a second off season because they don't have no off season. She's
Averaging
gonna
28 points, 7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 69% from the field. Yeah,
she all I gotta say is right now Adi is a problem.
and let's sit there. Let's be where our feet are. She's in college and she's
We
killing
can't see.
it.
We're not Raven Simone. We can't see into the future.
We cannot. And so where she's at right now, she's a problem. I'm gonna stay there.
I'm with it.
Audie knows what she needs to do. People need to worry about what they need to do.
Absolutely. And one thing I'll say about her is she has shown growth from freshman to sophomore to junior year. Yeah. She has not been the same player. And I can't say that about a lot of players. There's a lot of players who are extremely flashy in the NCAA and have not shown that level of growth. And that's all you can ask a player to do.
Yeah, improve and lead. And she seems like she's maturing right in front of us. So
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Our next little conversation is a fold. We not playing poker, but we folding. Grand Slam track. Now, Seaway is our track girl. I'm football, she track. Now break it down for me, see?
Yeah, Grand Slam track was really started out to give track athletes the opportunity to run in the States, go to different parts of the States, LA, New York. But unfortunately, after their first season, they were not able to pay their athletes like Sydney McLaughlin. And there's a lot of people, Gabby Thomas, there's a lot of people that are owed money. They filed for bankruptcy. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because there's a lot of lofty ideas. But the importance of scaling is important because I think there's a lot of people, a lot of former athletes, who want to create opportunities for the folks coming behind them. But I think we're seeing a lot of the hard part about scaling and getting sponsorships and getting the money up first before you do a lot of promises. And I think that's where we kind of saw the downfall here. I know they're trying to come back, but in track, if you don't have the athletes buy in that they're going to get paid, if they're involved in a Chapter 11, which is what was filed, I don't know if they're going to be able to come back.
Yeah. The other side of it is a lot of people like to focus on the sports part, but at the end of the day, it's still a business.
Yeah.
It's still a business and you have to scale it according to a business model. And that's I think that's the reason why Serena's husband's project is probably going to work. Because didn't you say it's only one meet?
Athlos, yeah, it was one meet. It's one meet a year, I think, as of right now. It's a women's only track meet, and it was in New York, and they did a long jump in the middle of Times Square, which was dope. And it was a little cold when they ran, so that's kind of the only thing. And it's at the tail end of the track season, so that's a little funky. But it's one meet, high prize purse. He also has his own individual funding to kind of like weather the storms. I think the problem with Michael Johnson is, and we deal with this as Black people, we have less resources a lot of times, less backing. He doesn't have the individual funding to kind of back down years, So I think Serena's husband, it's okay that it's at a loss for a little bit because he can fund it and his investors can fund it through the loss. I think Michael Johnson could not fund it through the loss. Yeah. And so although it was a great idea, it's unfortunate that the financial backing wasn't there to kind of weather the storm in these first year.
I agree with that. And you also, track is such a long season. And I think adding a season onto that, unless it's that gimmicky shit that they try to do with you can use steroids or whatever that
I saw
whatever,
that.
whatever that league
I saw
is.
that. I don't even understand what all that is.
I don't know. Unless it's something like that, where it's super gimmicky. There's only probably room for a singular meet or two or maybe a second one. Maybe you book in the season. Maybe you do something before the pre, and maybe you do something like you said at the end. So it's a tune up and it's a tail end. But um I
So I think the idea was because track the circuit is the Diamond League,
mhm,
and that it's all over the world. You have athletes going from here to there to Poland to everywhere. Okay,
mhm,
I think the idea was have a U.S. based Diamond League where a lot of the athletes
mm.
can actually run here, where they don't have to be in 5 billion different time zones. I mean, you can still do the Diamond League, but
Does the Diamond League have any US meets?
I don't think the Diamond League. It
I
only
know.
place you run in America is Oregon.
I'm
I
about to
don't
say the
think
pre.
I don't
Well,
think
the Prefontaine Classic, I know that's like the kickoff or whatever that everybody.
yeah, and there's Prefontaine. But I mean I don't think the Diamond League. Don't quote me, y'all. You can look it up. But I
Mm.
think most of the Diamond Leagues are overseas.
I feel it. There's an American audience there for sure. Especially for track because if you unless you have like NBC Universal or you're streaming, you're not getting certain you're not getting certain sports. You have like
Eugene, I was right. Eugene's the only stop.
okay. Yeah, there's definitely a market for it, and I actually commend the other MJ for putting it together. Um but I agree. I think that's the difference is that Alexis, I mean, I guess we could stop calling him Serena's husband,
Alexis.
but he can also be Serena's husband. Like you said, he has backing and he has a business background, and I think that's always going to get bigger money when you have a
Yeah.
business background. That's always going to get bigger money, and also being white helps.
Yeah, all of that. And so that's why I like to like be kind of fair with the conversation. I think a lot of people, jumped on Michael Johnson with, like you could have did this, you could have did that, you should do this. I do commend him for trying to do this, but when you're involving athletes and their money and things like that, you gotta double check and make sure that you got the money to do it. Because now, unfortunately, that they weren't paid and you're in bankruptcy. I This wonderful idea. I mean, maybe it can be restarted with different ownership and new promise of funding. I'm gonna hold hope for that. Um, but yeah,
I feel you. All right. So now when we get our listeners up, wait till we get our money right. But eventually we'll be asking you guys to ask us questions. And then we'll have just a little debate. We're not always on the same side of the coin. Um, we're not always on the same side of the coin over here. And because of that, we're gonna ask you, whose side are you on? So our first question for this particular segment, episode 1, our first question is very simple. How you feel about that NCAA scheduling, girl? And we talking about LSU and they maybe soft ass schedule. Now, me personally, I like it. I like giving money to schools who need the money. 4 HBCU schools were scheduled on purpose by Kim Mulkey because they don't get no funding. You know what I'm saying? Give them that LSU money, give them that old money. They're not gonna get it any other way. I'm a fan of the tune-up games. If you know your personnel,
yeah,
LSU doesn't have a lot of they have some new faces, but they have a very strong core together. And I think that it's a fair assessment to take these little tune-up games if you're being benevolent to the lesser. Now, Seaway got a different idea about it.
Now we know we don't disagree about getting money to HBCUs. The forest schedule there, you know
True.
what? Not mad at that. But where I do disagree is that, do you need a gauntlet of a schedule when you're already in the SEC? No, but you definitely need one or two gut check games. You know, you need something, at least a game where you know this team is gonna fall in the top 20 at least.
Yeah.
One or two of those, because with LSU, which is fine, you know, if they pulled it around, they beat Texas, and so it seems like they're barely, but they beat them. It seems like they're now having their gut check games in the middle of SEC and conference play. And I just personally don't feel like, unless you just know your team is, you know, like the UConn team last year, you know, they played some comp two a little. They played a little bit of comp two before, but like it wasn't going to change much. We already know what they were going to do. I think LSU, especially with its players, could have used the push. You know, getting the fire out of Michaela, because we already know she's a dog. Getting the fire out of Flau'jae, you know, out of Malaysia. Getting the freshmen a little bit of comp before they had to go into SEC play. I think the freshmen really could have used that. But, you know, scheduling is so far. I mean, they schedule a little bit ahead sometimes before recruiting, before commitments. But I just disagree, and I'll continue to disagree. I think LSU in particular needs to do a better job of at least scheduling two games. And
I mean, they have SC on their schedule every year, so you know that's always gonna be a tough game when it's Dawn v. Kim.
In conference play, though.
I mean, that's true. That's my point, though. They're not in the Big East. They're
gonna get the comp, but I just, you know, I saw a lot of complaints. You know, we saw a UCLA's coach talking about the lack of storylines, and I'm gonna be honest, women's college basketball darn near doesn't even kick off into January because of the way the games are being scheduled. Yes, they start in November, but if every team is constantly playing teams that are not even remotely matched up with them, there isn't a lot of what are we talking about? LSU plays lower mid-major for 2 months. What are we talking about? Highlights, behind the back passes?
I mean, I feel you. I guess as a fan, that's how you would feel.
Even as a coach. Kim said she would have had more losses if she would have had a harder schedule. Well, to me, what's the point then? We're not just collecting W's. You need to get your team ready for when it matters. And what matters is that tournament.
Now, this LSU team, given they don't have any, Flaw is a personality in and of herself, but they don't have an Angel Reese on this team.
Yeah.
They don't have an Angel Reese on this team. And I don't know. Malaysia could be that, but she doesn't have I don't think she has the leadership. She doesn't have the leadership prowess.
And she's new to this team. She could, but she's new to this team, so.
Absolutely. So I understand that as the criticism, but I would just say Kim, in all of her championship teams, she ain't never did. It's always backloaded. Even when she was with Baylor, they didn't play their non-conference schedule at Baylor wasn't tough.
And if you recruit long enough and you play long enough, you'll win long enough. Most of them, you just coaching at programs and you never win. I don't know what you're doing. But to me, that doesn't mean it's the best. If she had a Gino run or a Dawn run, I wouldn't question it. Well, I guess Dawn, but more of a Gino run, you know what I'm saying? Even a Dawn, I just feel like Dawn has a system and the system makes sense.
No, that's true. Gino wants the smoke though.
And Gino has a system, and his system makes sense.
Gino has a system that makes sense, but Gino wants the smoke. Gino wants,
and that's what you're supposed to do.
He's a different beast.
Kim I've been doing it this long, and that's just how it is. To me, it doesn't make sense. Like people's explanation is, "Oh, she's been doing it, and it works sometimes." A lot of things work sometimes.
Her shit work more than just sometimes. G, you act like she's not perennially in the Elite Eight. She perennially in Elite Eight. It's not like
Let me tell you. Let me tell
she's
you.
missing the tournament. You acting like she's missing the tournament.
I did a video on Kim, and I said Kim talk about she ain't got the talent to run over people on this team. I said she does. I said Kim got to lock in, bring out that gold suit like she did, and get to coaching.
Yo, gold suit Kim. When Kim is bedazzled to the gods,
and she outcoached the hell out of Vic Schaefer. The thing is, Kim can. I'm never taking away from Kim. Kim has to do. Kim actually could schedule differently, and she can coach. She just has to choose to. And when she locked in with that gold suit, it was over for Vic.
I'm gonna be honest. Kim, I always call Kim Barbara Knight personally. Mm-hmm. Cause Kim the type that'll throw a chair or a clipboard if she need to get on up in it. So I agree with you. She was locked in. She coached the hell out of that game, because if it wasn't for Kim, if it was left up to the devices of that team, they would have lost. That
and
game
and that's how I said. That's how I know Kim can, because the way she coached them through all of those bricks, I think what helped is that Texas was off too. It seemed like they were both off, and so she was able to kind of coach them through it. Despite
Texas got a couple of dogs though.
They do.
Their point guard is the truth.
She just had an off game, and I don't understand Vic Schaefer's point of just leaving her on the bench. I think you also have to let your players play through those bad games.
Especially your point guard, because your point guard could not give you buckets, but they could give you meaningful minutes. That's one of those positions where having the consistency of the person who's setting up the offense, because yes, she is a scoring point guard, but she is an assist monster.
Yes, she is.
She is an assist monster, and I think that game her turnovers were up, because normally I think her turnovers is like less than two per game.
So it was like Kim coached and Vic wasn't coaching. So they won that game, but I want to see the consistency. I need Michaela is an effing dog. Michaela could go to the W right now. Don't pass go. Cinder.
How we feel about Flo in a W, and possibly the link up that will be her and Angel, because that's
I don't think she's
projected slot.
I don't think she's coming to the Sky, but I've learned not to make predictions with them. I think Flau'jae is W bound, and I think when she gets into a role, she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know who the Sky. Sky has to have the weirdest pick. They could get an absolute dog, but then they could also get a I don't know what they're gonna do. That team. That team is probably the most. I'm a White Sox fan, and I have accepted that we're trash, and that that Jerry Reinsdorf is just gonna make the money that he's gonna make, and he don't care.
Y'all go to the stadium, get y'all popcorn and hot dogs.
Exactly. It's a great experience. I've accepted that going to the White Sox game and being in a craft cave and drinking gourmet beers while baseball is in the background and eating delicious food. The park has great food. I've accepted that it's the experience.
That's what I do with the Bulls.
The Sky are the most frustrating. Bulls are frustrating too, because the Bulls are making money hand over fist. They are among the top two in the league in revenue,
and that's why I stopped
in the middle of the league in salary. And so that's
on Chicago. The reason why the Sky, we should just table that, because that's a lot.
We get off we at the end of the show. We over here adding extra stuff.
But when it comes to the Bulls, that's on Chicago. I spent a lot of money to be a season ticket holder for multiple years. When I saw what they decided to do this upcoming season, I said, I have to take a stand, and I'm pulling my money. I'm not doing it no more. The problem is that people run into that stadium, rain or shine, good or bad, and then they want better. How you want better if you're not requesting better?
No, that's fair.
What they say,
they've sold out the most of any NBA team,
and they'll continue to do that. Why should they change?
And that team is middling at best. And
they
people
got
are excited about Zion, talking about bring Zion here. He gonna be I'm not gonna fat shame, but you can't bring nobody with food issues to the city of Chicago. No. You can't come here. It's Italian beefs on every corner. Get a different idea. Get a new one. All right. I got fun.
Me
This
too.
was fun.
I had a lot of fun, guys.
This
And
was fun.
we're open to suggestions. What else you want us to talk about? Let us know.
Absolutely. Tag us in your things. We will 100% have that conversation. Follow us both on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads, all the stuff. Follow the Women's Cut. We're at the Women's Cut on everywhere where you can find us.
Yes.
Okay. And join our Facebook group, the Women's Cut, formerly She Said What She Said. Search it up. Join us. Let's have a conversation.
And don't be mad at us. Just be glad that you made the cut.
Pew, 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 pew.